Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is start running roads for services. We need electric, we need fire, police, medical, and I kind of wanted that centrally located, so that's why I put it right in with the train stations in between our two sections and across from the farm. So in this next part, I just add a bunch of trees to kind of blend the two areas together. And it does look a lot better that way. Next, we add in some unique buildings. They do add a lot of land value, and I just wanted them on the main street in each one of the residential areas. So here I like that ridge so much by the cemetery oil section. I thought it would look good to continue it down between the residential area and the farm area, so I did just that. So here's a quick overview of what it looks like now, and I think it adds just a bit more personality. So now we start running our residential roads, and I do them on a grid system, but they are curved just like the main road, so it gives it a little bit more of its own unique style, and it comes out quite well. So here I start to run the road for the main high school for the whole area. Now I know it's really separated from the other residential area, but I'm gonna put in some walking paths and stuff, so hopefully they'll use it. I guess we'll see what happens. Now I'm just putting in some elementaries, some parks, and just the things they need in the specific areas of the residential. They already have the medical, the police, the fire on the other side, so now they just need their schools and their parks. Now we head down to the other residential area and we run the roads exactly the same way. I'm thinking that the developer of the area just wanted this to be unique and it was new, and they had complete control over how the roads went in and everything was going to be set up, and so they decided to run it in the curved style with the main roads. So yeah, I think it looks good. I think it came out well and it's quite functional. So again, now we're just placing our elementaries and our parks, just so everybody has what they need on this side as well. So now it's time to start working in our farm. Now, because I like the way the trees kind of separated the areas, this looks so bare. So in a lot of the spots that weren't fertile, I thought we'd fill it in with some trees to kind of split it up and make it look a little bit more like organic, and I think it works. I was thinking that maybe this was a complete forest area and they wanted to develop on it, and when they started clearing some trees, they found this nice rich soil, and so they decided to clear it for a nice farm. And so they just left a lot of the trees around the surrounding area and just cleared the fertile land. So next we get ready to start running our roads, but before we do anything we have to put our main gate in. So I always like to do it on a kind of curve of 2 roads. So when you're coming into the farming area, you see the big nice farmhouse first, and then we paint the area. So I kind of just go around and paint the fertile areas and then come across the street to get to the other side. I do paint over a little bit, of the non-fertile area sometimes, but just a little bit. Next we start running our roads, and this is basically a guide. I end up deleting much of it, but it just helps me to kind of figure out how I want the layout to be, and sometimes the layout comes out nothing like it, but it depends on the assets size and what assets I put in and where I go with them. So once I start laying it out, I kind of like to have a lot of money. That's one advantage to doing a farm later on and having everything unlocked, is that you have more money and all the assets are there. So I kind of just fill this area in with some roads, and then I kind of alter them to fit my needs. So here's the part where I start adding the assets. Now again, this changes, I told you before. I start just laying out certain things, and then I like the big crops and they didn't fit. So I end up altering this quite a bit. I delete things, I move things, but again, you'll see it as it comes up. So here's a bit of an overview of what it looks like, but again, it changes. So here I just took a look at what I liked and what I didn't like, and I decided to make some changes. Now, the original one wasn't so bad. I actually liked it, but I thought we could fit in a few more things, and I just wanted things to be organized a little differently. So here's an overview of it totally completely changed. So now I head over to the other side, and I think I only put in like one animal pasture. Now, most of this farm, I wanted to keep it relatively small, but as you can see, I went a little overboard with the crops. So I don't put in a slaughterhouse. I think I kind of wanted to keep it a little more green. So I do put in the flower and stuff like that, but I kept the slaughterhouse out. I thought it was just a bit too much for this area. See, zoning takes forever. Now, I was pretty specific around where I wanted to zone. Eventually, we will put in walking paths. We did not do it this episode because I wanted everything to kind of fill in first and then try to see the best spot to put walking paths. So we have trains. So now I'm thinking metro. So I went with some base game metro. They're nice and small. They fit the area a little better because this is not a big area to put a huge metro station in. And they do create noise, so you do want to keep them away from the residents. And there was an empty spot right here by the airports, so I thought that would be a great place to connect to. Since these guys can't get out of here only by public transportation, to the airport would be a great idea. And then I also put this connected to the other one and then run it to the main station right in the middle here where we have quite a few changes. So they can make a lot of changes right in here and it gets them to the college. So this area is super hard to run metro because I do have a lot of underground stuff, but I do eventually get it to connect in, and it's really good because they have their own platform. So that's good. So now I just run it from there to the airports and back again. And yeah, I'm hoping this will get people in and out and to the college. So I was also looking around, and I know we don't have a lot of public libraries. We have the Grand Library right in the middle of the city center. So I thought right here would be a good spot for a nice public library. The high school's on the other side, so I thought this would be good to get some education up as well. So health was a bit of a concern for me since the hospital was so far away. So I used some swimming pools to add and boost the health in some of the areas. So now we move to the other residential area and start zoning in there. Like I said, this took quite a long time, and I did want to leave certain parts in, but obviously we have to cut out some of it because it just took way too long. But you will get the results at the end. So finally, here we are. We're at the end, and here's an overview of how it came out. I think next time we're going to start working on oil. That is one industry we don't have as well as ore. So since the oil is down there, we're going to probably start working on that the next episode. And pay no mind to that piece of road right there. I changed everything over to bicycle paths, and for some reason, I guess because of the curve, that one section would not change over to bike paths. So I definitely have to fix that, I know. So I know if I didn't mention that, somebody in the comments would have said, you know that one piece of road, it's not matching everything else. So I figured I better mention that because, yeah, I noticed it too. Also, I made this overview a little bit longer than normal. A lot of people say I don't leave enough of the finishing results in, so I wanted to make sure you got a good sight of everything we put in and how it was functioning and how the traffic was moving through it. So yeah, I did make sure that this overview lasted a bit longer, and I'll try to do that more often on other episodes in the future. So I really hope you enjoyed these last 2 episodes. It was something different and unique, and I'm trying to find new ways to kind of do things in City Skylines that are a little different. So if you like my content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I will let this keep running for a bit longer.